Scott, a 1-1 draw here at Carlisle, a great point against the league leaders. How did you assess that?
Yeah, look, first of all, I should say it's an absolute privilege to be managing against Mark Hughes. We say it how it is. I think, he's a hero of everyone's growing up. And to manage against someone with that experience, and look, what a team they are. What a place this was, 10,800 today. Proper football club. But I thought we played our part in a really good game. I thought our lads were a credit to the club. We had almost 100 fans here that have travelled up at, 5, 6 o'clock this morning, and they've gone home happy and really pleased with the efforts.
Yeah, just talk us through that 88th minute equaliser. Kieran Evans slipped through, finds space. What were your thoughts at that point?
Yeah, what pleased me was that we were still in the game at that point because we showed really good character to come here, and that has to be just said to the players. Sorry to just go off on a tangent slightly, but just said to the players, I feel like we've been at this performance level 3 or 4 times and haven't quite pushed, and that's been because of injuries and maybe a little bit of a lack of options from the bench and different bits and pieces. There's reasons for it, but we have to now make sure that we're in a position where we could really build on this, because like you said, it's a brilliant point. I thought the lads were good value for it in the end. We actually nearly scored before they did, and then Lloyd had a chance, or there was a bit of a scuffy scramble in and around the box, and then they got the other end and hit the post. It comes back out to Nick, and I just thought, at that point, I'm not going to stand here and say we deserved any more than the point, but we played our part in a really good game. It was a wonderful goal, and that came from a little bit of pressure we had. We got a throw in, kept the ball, passed it forward, moved forward. We were brave with our running into the box, and I thought everyone did their job and a little bit more today. But it has to be that way.
Yeah, the first half seemed very disciplined, almost at the expense of creating as many chances, based on the fact that the second half we went out and created a hell of a lot more chances. What was it that you said to the lads at half time? Because, as I say, first half very disciplined, second half still disciplined, but creating a bit more chances.
I just think, to be honest, Ricky, the game got a little bit more open when they got their goal. The roar of the crowd, and it became, they're trying to put the game to bed, and we're trying to. I thought we were a little bit tidier in transition actually second half. We had some moments in the first half where we could have broken on them if we'd have swept it from one side of the pitch to the other, and we didn't quite do that. But it was a really, really good, solid away performance in the first half. Second half, I would say, slightly less solid, but more creative, and it's just getting that balance right. We're at the moment like Macca's play. I don't know what minute he came off, but he played a lot more than the 45 minutes I promised him he would. But he was a threat up there, so I thought Sam and Harvey running off him looked a threat as well in behind. We just had a little bit more of a different dynamic today than certainly what we had Saturday. We defended our box well from set plays, and then look, when you stay in the game and work that hard, you give yourself a chance. But yeah, look, at half time I was really pleased, but I've been really pleased. I was really pleased for 70 minutes against York, and we ended up losing 4-2. So we haven't cracked it yet, clearly, but the signs are good. And I think it's fair to say, when I came here, players were all at different levels. They were all at different levels in terms of fitness and form. And that, again, like I've said many times, that's not a slight on anyone before me. We've got a decent squad here. But for example, if you take someone like Vokes, he hadn't played since pre-season. Thought he was good today, and that's the first. So we're just starting. Kieran Evans is now looking like the Kieran Evans that the club signed in the summer. But probably wasn't against York. So, and I always say it how it is. We need to get that consistency into the lads. But to be fair to them, we've got to get them all at a really good level, so they're able to do that for us. And again, it's just getting another 1 or 2 bodies through the door gives us a few more options, keep everyone fresh. So we have always got an attacking threat in the game.
Yeah, we obviously spoke about the game. Now zooming out and looking at that point as a whole, just talk about how valuable that point is.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant because it's brilliant for the players, because we now know we can go somewhere like this, and they've got some brilliant players. They're obviously well coached with an experienced manager. Great back in here. It's a proper football club, isn't it? And shows the lads that we can go and compete, and we did a little bit more than compete today. I thought we were good. Challenge, obviously for me, but mainly for the players, is to back that up now, because it's only a good point, I think, if you can go and build on it for the following game. Look as an isolated game. Yeah, look, everyone will take a point here. Even the top teams would come here and take a point, and some of the top teams have been here, and I think they've won 7 of their last 8 games. So in that respect, yeah, you're absolutely spot on. But if we don't follow it up in our next game and have a good week's training, then it is just 1 point. So look, if it can lead on to something more, but that's the challenge for the players.
Yeah, we spoke about the supporters and the early starts that they had. I want to give you one example. I saw on Twitter, or X as it's called now, this morning, that a supporter was on the minibus at 3:41 in the morning. I don't know about you, but I was certainly asleep at that time. So what does it mean to you? What does it mean to the players? The fact that the fans have made the effort, time, money to be here today, and how grateful are you that you've been able to give them a point to go home with?
Yeah, look, they've been absolutely. I can't speak for before when I was here. But since we've been here, the relationship between the players and the supporters has been first class. I think we had between 80 and 90 here today. Great effort. But I think they're rewarded. If you're a fan of a club at this level, you want to visit places like this. We want to manage here, we want to play here. So look, I thought they were brilliant, and obviously the lads showed their appreciation before and after the game. And it's those things. We as a player, and it wasn't that long ago when I played, you can sometimes, after a result, run in, get ready to go, but you have to. They're the bits you remember at the end of your career, being with the supporters, the travel. I'm getting it through to the players, I think, and I hope that actually some of the teams I played in years ago, we would give anything to be back on the bus and back staying overnight with everyone together. There was a real togetherness last night in the hotel, a real focus, and look, it's been a good weekend.
Well done today.
Cheers, thanks.